Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. So today our chapter is going to be choosing the audience. It's actually a short tajuk lah, tajuk ni tak panjang, slide pun 16 sahaja. So as we already covered a few weeks ago on identifying the layout and then types of advertising mediums, as well as what we call that, colors, lines and so on. So today topik kita cover adalah pemilihan daripada segi audience kita. So before we move into creating the design brief, which is next week, this is the final component that you need to understand in order to be able to create your design brief accurately. So let's move on. First and foremost, why we need to know who is our target. Kenapa target itu penting? Kalau anda ingat kita punya previous week punya discussion, one of the main factors in deciding the medium is target audience, because target audience akan membolehkan kita fine-tune our iklan, fine-tune our design, decide the direction of our design as well. And eventually this will impact the overall costing in creating the, what we call that, the marketing campaign. So, apa maksud target market? So, dalam target market in design world, in the business terms, it's almost the same thing. It means the segment that we are trying to market to. Apa yang kita cuba marketkan, sama ada produk kita ataupun servis kita ataupun announcement kita nak tujukan kepada siapa. And usually target market kita dapat what we call that, we can define it by age, genders, geography, mana dia datang and everything, socio-economic groupings, or any other combinations of the demographics. So dalam target market dia ada banyak cara lah untuk kita nak bahagi-bahagikan kita punya audience. So in a way, in a nutshell, target market is defined under these 4 segmentation utama. Yang pertama adalah demographic, kedua adalah geographic, ketiga adalah psychographic, and last but not least is the behavioral segmentations. And towards the slide bahagian belakang kita nanti, I will cover these 4 lah. Okay. So first is the demographic. So this is the most basic segmentation there is in doing marketing campaigns and everything. So even in science, kita memang usually pakai demographic sajalah sebab dia paling simple. So demographic segmentation usually divide the customers into segment with the demographic values such as age, umur, gender, family size, family life cycle, maksudnya tua ke apa ke, occupations, educations, religion, generation, social class, as well as nationality. So datang dari mana and so on. Because like I mentioned early class, I remember that when we do design, we need to know it's for who. Okay, the who questions will create a different, for example, for genders. So when it comes to genders, male and female, they have different sets of colors that they will prefer when we do design. Even we do for contohnya baby shower, let's say we have to do a poster for baby shower and we know that it's a boy, okay, it's a boy baby shower. So usually the design will play around the color of blue, the color of, it will play around the color of blue, the color of brown, the color of, you know, a manly tone colors. And if it's baby girls, then usually they will play around the color of pink, soft pink, even yellowish colors. So this is how we decide on design element using segmentation, demographic segmentations. So knowing who is our audience, who the design is for, then kita boleh decide on the design elements. Age and life cycle segmentation, it's very straightforward because the consumers will have different needs and wants, okay, as they grow older. Kan? So mereka akan mempunyai pilihan-pilihan yang tertentu. And for example, I can easily say to you, if you are designing for someone which is an older age, the typography that you are using must be easy to see from far. I mean, the font size, it will make it, you will have to decide on the font size as well. And you have to consider also, because not all yang berumur ni mereka boleh membaca, because some of the older generation, they cannot read, but they can see through pictures. So maybe there will be a lot of pictorial design, such as we are using infographics to explain things. Okay. Next, gender, like I mentioned just now, different genders. So male and female will have different needs and wants, will have different favorite colors, will have different attitudes towards a product. Income segmentation as well, when you are designing for a different groups of peoples that have different level. For example, kita ada B40, M40 dengan D20. The design that you design for those groups are usually different because their taste levels are different as well. Okay, and their understanding of brand is different as well. So this is the typical generation. So we have the early one, which is the builders. Sekarang by right mereka berumur 71 ke atas. Baby boomers di antara umur 52 ke 70. So if your dad, your parents are in between this age, meaning they are baby boomers. And then we have Generation X, age 27 to 51. Generation Y, age 22 to 36. And I believe most of you are actually Generation Z, which is age 7 to 21. And that's sekarang semester 2, so you should be around age of 18 to 19. So Anda adalah consider Generation Z. And then we have Generation Alpha, which is anak setara Anda lah, yang baru lahir semua, everything age under 7, they are Generation Alpha. So this group of generation, if you are doing a design based on generation gap, then dia punya factors to consider lagi besar lah. I will not go in detail what generation X love, what generation Z don't like, and stuff like that, because that one you can easily just Google up. You can find videos on YouTube. There are a lot of explanation on design for this specific generation groups as well. Okay. Then social class segmentation, this is quite easy. Macam tadi saya sebutlah, kat Malaysia kita ada B40, M40 dengan D20. Okay, so basically the income segmentations, they are having lower income, they have middle income, they have high incomes, and so on and so forth. Geographic segmentations, straightforward. Asal negara mana, negeri mana, daerah mana, it will have their different favorites. They will have their different types of design that we will cater for them. Psychographic. Okay, psychographic more on talking about personality, okay, and the lifestyle profile. So ada setengah orang hidup sederhana, hidup lavish and style like that. It depends. So if you ask me a questions that, sir, kita patut design based on segmentation macam mana? It depends on your decision as the managers, or it depends on your decision as a marketing team. So bila kamu buat sesuatu produk, diberi sesuatu produk and services, you have to decide what kind of segmentations that your team will decide to go. Are you using generation gaps such as Gen Y, Gen X, and so on? Or are you using a gender segmentations? Or are you using a geographic segmentations? Or are you using a psychographic segmentations? So kalau kamu tanya which one is the best, it really depends on the product or depends on the service you are trying to offer. Okay. So this is basically psychographic. Dia pandang pada apa psychographics having certain profiles such as their opinions, their attitudes, their hobbies, activities, the interests, the values, and also the behaviors that dia portraykan. So when we go for psychographic behavior, psychographic segmentation, we don't really look at gender perspective already. We look in the profiling. So it can be interest, somebody interested in arts, for example. So we are targeting people who love arts. Bila kita buat macam tu, maksudnya kita tidak akan pedulikan dia lelaki ke, perempuan ke, umur dia ke apa ke. Tapi kita sekarang target audience kita adalah orang yang meminati seni. So this is what I mean by if you are using psychographics segmentations. And then behavioral segmentation is another types of segmentation. This particular segmentation is the attitude of the customers towards a certain type of product and certain types of services. Bila dia membeli sesuatu, dia menggunakan sesuatu, dia memandang kepada 6 perkara ini. Okay, the first is, if you can see on the pictures, is either the usage rate, maksudnya tahan lama ke tidak. Benefits, ada extra benefit, ada kalau beli benda ni apa yang dia dapat, and so on and so forth. Other certain times is because it just come on the right timing, occasions, or the timing. And there are certain things that people loyal to it. So regardless, they have been using that product for like forever. For example, kita senang saya bagi contoh is telephone lah, like kan. We have iOS and we have Android phones and we have Windows phone. So why you prefer over iOS than what we call that Android phone, for example? Ada orang sebab dia loyal to Apple product, so dia memang akan pakai sahaja. Or user status, orang mengatakan orang yang pakai Apple ni orang yang orang kata apa? Ada duit sikit contohnya lah yang orang selalu katakan. So people buy it, people use it because of that. And if you use behavioral segmentation, for example, you are targeting usage rate, okay, you are targeting usage rate. Then in your design, okay, perkataan-perkataan yang digunakan dalam design itu akan mencerminkan usage rate itu. Alright, so mungkin you will put in there bahawa benda ni tahan lama. Alright, bahawa produk ini boleh diguna pakai berulang kali. So ataupun produk ini tidak perlu dibasuh, for example. Saya boleh ambil contoh yang orang sekarang selalu highlight apa produk tu yang lap kain tu, Novex. So that is a product. And if you notice the iklan that Novex punya iklan, mereka more on the benefit. So it means like senang nak cuci, senang nak hilangkan minyak and everything. So dia menggunakan perkataan-perkataan, captions, body text such as those lah. It saves your time, you don't need to scrub and so on and so forth. So orang yang membeli produk itu, dia beli disebabkan benefit yang dia dapat, which means the company is actually doing the marketing campaign using a behavioral segmentations, and maybe they target straight away to using benefit as their decisions in doing the designs. And last but not least is the technographic segmentation. This is very much new, not new per se as 2021. Benda ini baru maybe 4 or 5 years ago, which is when technology has become part of our life. Okay, so orang membeli disebabkan kesenangan dia. Orang membeli disebabkan teknologi yang ada dalam benda itu. For example, people buy this because inside it's embedded with this and that and so on and so forth. So people buy it because of that. And when you are doing when you are using technographic segmentations in your marketing campaign, then you will be highlighting how technology can help the users, how technologies can help the customers in their daily life. So bila you are using this particular method, the ayat-ayat kat dalam ayat-ayat iklan anda pun akan menjurus kepada itu. Highlight kepada perkara itu di mana macam mana teknologi dapat membantu menyenangkan kehidupan pengguna tersebut. Okay. So secara overall in this particular topic, market segmentation, sebenarnya our audience is our market. So choosing our audience based on this is example kat bawah tu is example that usually the most four okay, yang empat yang utama yang selalu orang pilih: geographic, demographic, psychographics, and as well as behavior. And how you want to look at geographic, dah diberi example kat situ lah, melihat kepada zon kawasan dia, postal codes, negeri mana, negara mana, okay, dia daripada kampung ke, dia daripada bandar, which is rural, suburban, and urban areas. If you look at demographic, then we look at the social characteristic of our target audience, which is their age, gender, race, religion, income, language spoken, and so on and so forth. Where psychographics, as I mentioned just now, we will look by assessing individual attitudes, their values, and their lifestyle characteristics. Okay, so sample kat bawah tu kat situ ada maybe based on the budget, based on the emotion, based on their belief, based on their values, and so on and so forth. So, and then last but not least is the behavior, and which regarding about how the audience buy things. So bila dia beli tu, adakah sebabkan dia punya kegunaan dia punya consumption, dia punya habit ada hobi. And the last kali, which is yang tadi tu, it's the technographic segmentation. So technographic is straightforward. It's embedded technology in the service or product that they are trying to offer. So if you are using this kind of segmentation. So basically itu sahaja untuk kita punya minggu ni punya topik. So what I need you guys to do for next week class is I need you guys to study on the slide that I have on the U Future, which is design brief. So sila baca slide tersebut dan kita akan have a class discussion on design brief. I will show you example of design brief, why it is crucial to have design brief when you are doing a design. And that's about it. So hopefully, if you have questions, feel free to drop in the WhatsApp group or Google Classroom, dan tolong jangan lupa pergi ke U Future untuk sign kehadiran anda. So itu saja daripada saya hari ini, and hope to see you guys very soon. Assalamualaikum.